All right, there will be bourbon. There will be bears tonight. I am joined by King Mac. You can find him on X, arguing with Justin Fields' burner account most of the time, but he is at Mac74 King. How you doing tonight, brother?
Doing good. How you doing, man?
I am well. As always, tonight's discussion, at least for me, will be fueled by America's native spirit. Going with a little Eagle Rare 10 tonight. Obviously made by Buffalo Trace. Recently introduced Eagle Rare 12. Haven't had that yet. Along with Eagle Rare 17. So that's what I got. All right, man, where we at? That's the bye week. How you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. Especially after the first 2 weeks didn't really go the Bears' way. So I'm feeling very positive that we're 2-2 right now.
I'm with you. I know we were supposed to talk before the season, but I'm kind of glad it's gotten to where we are now because my prediction at the bye week was 2-2. It was not the same teams being defeated by the Bears as they did, though I did have them beating the Raiders. But going into that first game and watching what happened in the fourth quarter with the Vikings, I admittedly kind of went back to like, what are we doing? What I've watched this show for the last almost 20 years. Um, so what was your take going into the season? What were you expecting to see that first game with Caleb Williams and then Ben Johnson's new offense?
Well, honestly, I expected the Bears to win, and I actually
Right.
had their offense being a little better than what it was that game. Uh, but the thing with me, as somebody who watches baseball and love
Hmm.
baseball.
Yeah, that's what I remember.
I'm kind of a guy that kind of likes to see what the progress is, like how the player performed, this year as opposed to last year, and see where he progressed at, like where he got better at. And to me, even though the game didn't go our way, Caleb looked better in that one game than he did last year as far as his processing, so on and so on. He missed some plays, but he still was going to the right guy, even though they may have not connected.
Mhm.
He still was making the right play, the right decision. So I was kind of, I didn't like the way the game ended, but I was still, you know, okay as far as like, okay, they got a real coach. He's coached up Caleb. You can see his footwork and everything being better. You can see his processing being better. So I was encouraged, to be honest with you, even though we took a L.
So you said something interesting there, and that's you watch baseball, you understand like I do that baseball playing every day basically, right? So do you find it hard to use that approach sometimes because football is hey, they only get 17 of these games, there's once a week. It's not five, six times a week, sometimes seven games a week like we see in baseball. So do you think it's harder to use it from that perspective? Because you already see how the media treats quarterbacks in the NFL, right? Like if you're not winning today, then we have no use for you tomorrow.
Yeah, I think time in the NFL, right, is so compressed basically
Hmm.
because the season is shorter that sometimes people want results, faster than
Yeah.
that's really humanly possible. You know what I mean? Like with Caleb, it's kind of like how in baseball you see a guy and he flashes and you're like, okay, this
Yeah.
guy, he's different. He got talent. So
Yeah.
Caleb was the same way to me, and it was with his arm, not so much his leg. It's like, man,
Yeah.
this guy has elite arm talent. So I was never really worried about him. I think the hardest thing is like, what type of mentality do this guy have, which is, much more of a difficult thing to really make a judgment on.
Right.
You really have to see. It takes time to see what type of mentality a player has. And so far, I've been impressed with when it's time to go out there and get a touchdown, or it's time to go out there and direct a winning drive. He's been able to do that, and even last year, he was
Yes.
able to do that. So,
Yep.
I've always been like encouraged with Caleb.
I see. I believe in what you're saying because I went back and looked at some of my previous tweets about Caleb from last year, and we all know how the record went: 5-12, lost 10 in a row. But there were times, as you said, like end of the half, late 2 minute drive or whatever, that you know Caleb's out there doing it. Like there was never a question after seeing it done two or three times. Like, okay, this dude has whatever that thing is. Like, there's no equation for it. It goes back to what you just said about baseball. Sometimes dudes pop. Caleb pops when the matter, or like when the moment's the most, I would say, pressing. And I think the first time we really saw it was that Thanksgiving game that ultimately led to, Eberflus's firing, Matt Eberflus is being fired. We saw what Caleb did at the end of that game, right? Like he had that game, they should have beat the Lions. And maybe that
Oh yeah,
saved Eberflus's job. I don't know, but they didn't. And we all know what happened at the end of that game. But there was never a doubt going forward from that point for me where I thought the reason this team is not winning is it's not because of Caleb Williams.
yeah. I mean, to me, the most impressive thing about Caleb was the fact that he has how he responds to adversity. I
Yeah,
guess that's the best way I could put it. Like you're talking about a kid whose season really wasn't going as expected,
not at
probably for
all.
where
Yeah.
he probably wanted to win Rookie of the Year, all of that. You had
Hmm.
another kid in his draft class that was picked directly after him having a successful season. So the fact that the kid didn't really quit and give up, and he was getting beat down. I mean,
Oh
let's
yeah.
be honest,
Yeah.
he was sacked an awful lot,
Yeah. He
and
led
then
the league in sack. What was it,
yeah,
68 or
like
something ridiculous?
yeah,
Like,
it's a
yeah.
ridiculous number. And the kid never set out a game. You know, he
Nope.
didn't get injured or anything like that. So
Exactly.
it
Yeah.
let
He's a
me know he
tough
was
dude.
tough. Yeah, he's a tough guy. You know, so I'm not. I have never really been down on Caleb, even when things didn't go as I would like them to go. I haven't been down on the kid, to be honest with
No, and I agree. That's kind of what I like. One of the reasons I really enjoy following you is that you are not an emotional Bears fan, and I admit, like it's in my profile. I overreact to the Bears and the San Francisco Giants. It's what I do. Okay, but I do appreciate that you've always kind of had that level-headed approach to no matter what happens in the game. It's like, hey, here's why this is not an issue, and here's why going forward things look good. So I do appreciate you from that perspective. And I do enjoy you arguing, like I said, with what appears to be Justin Fields' burner, because I don't understand how some of these people are still holding on to this guy. Like he's not coming back, man. It's just, I don't
you. Yeah,
know.
I don't understand it either. Not only that, like you you talking about okay, no matter what, yeah, Caleb ain't get all the accolades, right? But if you look at his rookie season from the standpoint of just any rookie coming in as a quarterback, numbers wise, it was a success. Now, win
Oh,
loss
for sure.
record,
Yep.
was it a success? No, but numbers wise, it was a success. So to keep trying to compare this kid to Justin Fields or saying the Bears should have kept Justin Fields, they didn't make the right choice. No matter what you think about Ryan Poles, how good he is as a GM or how he's not good, he made the right decision as far
Yep.
as moving on with the quarterback, and that's just the truth. Yeah.
You're 100% right. And then now, like, what was it? I don't know if it was before the season or if it was after week one where someone tried to come out with some story about how like Ryan Poles ruined that whole process because he never even considered possibly drafting someone other than Caleb Williams. It's like, come on, guys. Like, are we really doing this? Is this just a Chicago thing? Like, does the media always have to try to create something that's not there? Like, it's so silly. It's just,
Yeah, and I don't want to take credit for this because somebody else actually said it, but I think because Caleb got tagged with that generation. He's generation. He's generation.
yeah.
And I think people have to realize it's a difference between a generational talent and a generational player. So Caleb has the talent,
Oh,
the
yeah.
potential to be generational.
Mhm.
Now it's up to him what he do in the league as far as if he become that generational player or not. So to me, when it comes to the arm talent and the skill
He's
set
got a
as a
fucking cannon.
quarterback,
Yeah, he's got a
I don't
cannon.
yeah, I don't think anybody was above him in that draft class. I really don't. Now, this could turn out to be a pretty good draft class because Drake made his second year. He's looking good. Then you had Jaden Daniels do what he did last year. And of course, Caleb is
Bo
progressing and
Nix,
looking
Bo
good
Nix
as
is
well.
doing. Bo Nix
Yeah,
has looked all right out there in
both
Denver,
legs is look, so
and that's not
I
a bad thing. Like, what? Why does Caleb like? Who cares if maybe it's? I think Tom Waddle says this a lot. What if they all have great careers? Is that a bad
That
thing?
no, that's not a bad thing.
Right.
No. But
Yeah.
if I was the Bears at that time, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not looking at anybody but Caleb either. If I had the
No,
number
I
one,
think it was really what everyone wanted or thought was Drake May, right? He was the only other one that people were considering, aside from
yeah,
sticking with Fields and just trading the pick away. But, no one thought Jaden Daniels was going to be as good as he was. And I know he was drafted number 2 overall, but I mean, I just didn't see it at LSU. I thought he was too small. He's just a very,
yeah,
look at him now, he's injured, but
yeah.
I didn't think he would be as good as he was. I give him all the credit in the world. But I don't think anyone was like regretting the fact that they took Caleb Williams over Jaden Daniels.
No, people didn't start regretting it till the season started, and then they started looking at the success. But here's one thing that I undervalued in football. I undervalued coaching a little bit, and I
Oh
think
yeah, no.
last year taught me a big lesson as far as how important coaching is in
Mm.
football because you got to see Cliff, do what he did with Jaden and tailor the offense towards Jalen's strengths.
Yep.
And then now you're getting to see with Ben Johnson how the offense and Caleb is looking with the offense tailored towards Caleb's strengths and what he does well. You know what I mean?
And I think it's a good point because what was it? Shane Waldron was the offensive coordinator. Matt Eberflus, by all accounts, he was a good defensive coordinator in Indianapolis. He wasn't like some standout candidate. But I always do find that what you just mentioned, like the coaching, specifically in the NFL, it seems like there is such a drastic difference between a really good coach and a really bad coach. And it's surprising to me how recycled the really bad coaches are in the NFL. Like they don't really leave. They stick
Yeah.
around in the NFL forever.
Well, yeah. I mean, Eberflus is a good example. There. He's over there with Dallas now as the
Yeah.
DC, and you can see like
Giving up 80 points
you
a
can
game.
see the problem. Yeah, the problems he had with the Bears as far as not being aggressive, as
Mhm.
far as always playing it safe. You
Yep.
can see why they having issues over there as opposed to Dennis Allen, right? If you look at this coaching staff, Dennis Allen, uh,
Antoine
Ben
Randall.
Johnson,
Yeah.
Anton Rondo, all those guys are aggressive.
Oh yeah.
They
I
they
love
like
Randall. That
that.
dude's energy is
Yeah, yeah. It's just a
is
different
different.
mindset.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Um, so that's a good point. But let's bring up Dennis Allen because I said this, during probably the late third quarter of the Raiders game. I said, look, the team is going to be, or the offense with Caleb Williams and Ben Johnson is going to be just fine. Like, there's no issue there. But I think Dennis Allen, like, he's doing what he can with a bunch of backups at this point at key positions. He's missing Jalen Johnson. Like Kyler Gordon hasn't played all year. Montez Sweat, I don't know where he's at. Grady Jarrett's been injured. Like he's doing what he can, and he's still somehow keeping the Bears in it. He's generating turnovers with Kevin Byard. I mean,
yeah,
when Dennis
Stevenson
Allen was high,
better.
what'd you think?
I like the hire because I thought sometimes it showed me the kind of character that Ben Johnson has because a lot of times people want to hire somebody with that much experience
Oh yeah,
because
yep,
they'll be intimidated. You know
yep,
what I mean? So to me, Ben Johnson hiring all these guys with experience kind of showed me, okay, he's not intimidated. He's confident in who
yep.
he is as a coach. You know what I mean? So I really enjoyed the I think this probably one of the best Bears staff we've seen probably since
Aggie.
Love Lovey
Well,
maybe,
I would
So
say Matt Nagy going with your point because Matt Nagy hired Vic Fangio originally, and I
yeah,
thought
Vic
that was
Fangio. Okay,
yeah,
that's good.
yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was the same. The difference between Matt Nagy though and Ben Johnson's night and day. So like the comparison stopped there. Like he hired a good staff, but
I think with the difference between Nagy and Ben Johnson is
honesty,
Nagy. Well, yeah, and Nagy can create his own system, right?
yeah,
And
that's true. Yeah,
how
very good
much
point.
play calling did Nagy really do under Andy Reid?
No,
That's
that's a
the
good point. Yeah,
question as well.
yeah,
Whereas Ben Johnson, he was responsible for building that offense over there with Detroit, and they was
mhm.
very successful.
And he already said very specifically that I'm not trying to run the Detroit Lions offense. I'm going to have a completely different one. So that just tells you that the dude's thinking beyond what he was doing before, and he's not trying to do the same thing because you can't. It's like you said, you got different players. You can't do the same
Yeah,
things.
yes. And he said something interesting in the interview where he said, as a play caller, normally he put pressure on himself to get the first read open, to get the first guy open.
Yeah.
And he said with Caleb, basically Caleb athletic ability, it allows him to kind of not have to be perfect as a play caller, and that's
100%.
kind of refreshing to him. So I think with golf, he's not as athletic as
No,
Caleb. Now,
not
but
at all.
don't get me wrong. Now, in the pocket, as of right now, him just standing in the pocket, he's a better
Oh yeah, he's
quarterback
been doing
than
it.
Caleb.
Yeah,
But I
and they're
mean,
both number one picks for a reason.
yeah, they
See,
both number one picks for a reason. Yeah,
yeah,
so
yeah, they both got candid. Like, no, I give it 100%. You're right. Like when I watched Caleb Williams, especially in that Raiders game, could you imagine what Max Crosby would have done to Jared Goff?
oh yeah,
Like
yeah,
the Lions would not have won that game. The reason the Bears won that game, despite all the turnovers they were getting and not capitalizing on, the only reason they had a chance to win was Caleb Williams.
yeah, Caleb Williams. Yeah,
That was it.
and I like what Max Crosby said about him as
Yeah,
far
I
as
did
him
too. I
being
saw
a
that.
competitor. He's a competitor. He took a beating and still got up. He kept
Yeah.
pushing. Those are all great, great qualities. And I
Yeah.
think, I think Ben, and to me, Ben showed his leadership in that game because I was telling some guys who are like Ben Johnson disciples. They love him. And I'm like, man, I like Ben Johnson too. Think he's a great coach. But to me, in the first half, he didn't call a great game. And then it was refreshing for Ben to come out and say, you know what, in that first half, I was messing up.
Yep.
And that lets me know, like I said again, how confident he is as a coach because he can admit when
Right.
things fall on his shoulder. Like, nah, that was on me there.
Let me know if you saw this. I don't know if it was the 2 minute warning going into halftime or if it was, I think it was a 2 minute warning. I think it was the first half. It was when the Bears, I think they ended up ultimately kicking that second field goal, but it was coming to the 2 minute warning. And Ben Johnson's on his headset. He's trying to call something, and then all of a sudden the 2 minute warning hits, and they go back to him. The camera flashes back over to him, and you can read his lips kind of. He's like, "Why didn't you tell me that?" He's talking to someone in his headset about like it sounded like or it seemed like he was alluding to someone who's supposed to be keeping time for him. So that goes back to what you just said about him learning because he's learning as a head coach. He's no longer just responsible for the offense, right? Yes, he calls plays, but
Mm-hmm.
he's got a whole game to manage as well. And I think what you just said to his first half not being his best, he lost track clearly of the time, wanting to continue to attack at the 2 minute warning and ran out of time and didn't get to play in. So I don't know if you saw that. I just thought that was interesting. And I
Yeah, I
think,
see it. I
okay.
see it. And I think he alluded to that as far as like he said that play call. He blamed himself. He said
Yeah.
play calls wasn't getting in fast enough. But
Right.
this one let me know Ben Johnson is a good coach.
Oh, yeah.
He made adjustments. Look at week one, right? Week one, he had horrible timeout usage. He had a challenge
Hmm.
that really wasn't that good.
Yeah.
And then look at what he did as far as week two. He had how he used his timeouts. He still had all his timeouts available to him in case it was a crucial situation. The same thing with week three and then week four. He even made it where if they didn't block the field goal and the field goal was
Yep. They had
successful,
time. Yep.
yeah, he had two timeouts left
And 40
and
some seconds. Yep. Yeah, they did.
something seconds. Yeah.
Yep. So, all right. Let's rewind a bit. Coming into the season, the conversation we didn't have. So, what are your expectations, or what were they? I don't want to know what the rest of your expectations are just yet. But coming into the season, what were your expectations for the team? Because I mean, I wasn't one of those people thinking this was a playoff team. You don't go from 5 wins to the playoffs. I don't. I mean, I know Matt Nagy did it, but he got lucky. Um, but what were your realistic expectations coming into this season?
My expectations, to be honest, I had the Bears winning 10 games.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Okay.
because I thought they had uh, enough talent to do it, and I thought to me, I thought the defense would be the weakest part of the team, which thus far it kind of has been.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought just with coaching alone, to me, if they had better coaching last year, they would have been a playoff team. So I never thought it was a lack of talent on the Bears. I never thought that. You know what I mean?
I think like I was obviously I thought they'd get more than 5 games. I just looking at their schedule, I couldn't talk myself into more than 8 wins, but I felt like that was good enough improvement. I mean, you're learning a whole new system on offense. You got whole new players coming in. I thought next year might be the year where they actually take it, but I'll be honest. I'm encouraged for the remaining part of this season because things have changed. You know how the NFL is. It's a week to week league, right? There's some games on that schedule now that look winnable. The Bengals being one of them now that Joe Burrow's out until probably what, December?
Yeah.
I am not convinced that the Green Bay Packers are anything to be too worried about. I know they beat the Lions in week one, but like I said, week one's over. It's week five.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter. I think they can get the Lions maybe when they get them at home. I know they can get the Vikings, even if it is in Minnesota next time. I think they can go 3-3 in this division. If they do that, they're at 5 wins right there. So there's other wins, like I said, on the schedule. So
Well, here's something interesting about the Bears, though. If you look at all the games they played so far,
mhm.
the offense has moved the football
Oh yeah, yeah,
consistently, but sometimes they have shot themselves in the foot. So if they just clean up the mistakes they're making, you already see you're gonna have a very potent offense. You see what I'm saying?
yep.
So to me, like I said, the talent is there. It's just about them getting in tune with each other and not making the same mistakes over and over again.
So the big thing going back to what you just said, like I know that there are some mistakes being made on offense. I think that's more from the operation of it. But let's go back to Caleb, right? He doesn't throw interceptions. I know he's thrown 2 this year. The one it was a tip ball right into the hands. That shit happens. But what he's cut down on is the fumbles. Remember how many fumbles he lost last year? I can't
Yeah,
remember. I know he fumbled once against the Raiders, but he recovered it with Max Crosby on top of him. I don't think he's lost a fumble yet this season. So you eliminate those amount of turnovers. He already doesn't throw interceptions. He only threw what, 6 last year, five or six. Um, that's gonna win you or put you at least in the position to be scoring points anyway. Even if you're only getting a field goal, as opposed to just turning it back over to the other team and having to put all that pressure on your defense again.
yeah. That's one thing that's impressive about him too. As many dropbacks as he has, he's not
Yeah.
turning the ball over like that. So he is keeping his team in games. You know what I mean?
And that's what
My
I
only
I, I kind of argue when people do this all 22 nonsense the next day and they're like, oh, he's missing these wide open dudes or he's whatever. It's like I see it differently. I see him as he's not a guy to force bad throws. Or if it's not there, he doesn't force it, which I don't have a problem with because he has that escapability. Yeah, of course, there's always going to be open receivers. Like, guys, it's football, okay? You can't see everything at every time, all right? That's just not reality. It's not Madden where where you get to play with that all 22 view. So I just think from game one to game four, especially, Caleb's made a huge improvement. He's made a huge improvement. Now I know
oh
everybody
yeah,
wants every
yeah,
game to look like Dallas, but it's not. The fact that they actually won that Raiders game, where we've seen this Bears, where we've just seen the Bears in general lose that exact game over and over throughout your and I lifetime, that's a huge step.
yeah. Well, look at which speaks to coaching and Caleb. Look at the Bears' success on third down. They one of the most
Yeah.
successful teams on third down.
Yep.
So if I'm Caleb and I believe in my coaching staff and I believe in my talent, why would I force something on first and second down and take a risk that I don't need to take?
Hmm.
You know.
All right. So we got Caleb covered. I think we're pretty in line with that. So I'm just curious, where do what's your take on DeAndre Swift and the running game at this point? Because that's kind of the big glaring weakness right now, in my opinion.
I'm concerned about the run game. You know, I will say it's been pretty impressive that the play action has worked without really
Yeah.
a viable running game. But um, at this point, Swift is what he is. I mean, if
Yeah.
you go back to Detroit, It's one reason why they got rid of him and Ben Johnson. You know,
It's
it was
like David
reports.
Montgomery.
Yeah, yeah. So, I think Ben knows what he's dealing with, and I think he's just trying to scheme around it. And I think they just use the run game for show, because the play action pass is so important to his offense.
What do you think? Like, I know it's out there. I don't really like it because of the age and taking on unnecessary contract. But what do you think about the talk of trading for Alvin Kamara?
No, to me, I don't like the age.
Yeah,
I think it makes no sense to me, to be honest. Yeah.
I agree. I'm glad because I mean, I know everyone wants to, play fantasy football and make a trade for a running back. Like they're out there just hanging out, waiting to be called. But I mean, it kind of is what it is. And for whatever reason, why do you think Roshan Johnson can't get on the field?
I think the coaching staff don't like him as a runner. You know what I mean? I think it was a report came out that said he'd strictly be special teams, basically. So I don't think it's any. I don't think he's gonna be on the field. That's the best way.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know we went and said it earlier. Like, I know he's hit obviously in our opinion on Caleb and Roma Dunze, but I mean, that was a fourth round pick. That's another that's another big miss. I know it's a fourth round pick. I got it, but still, I think that's a miss for Ryan Poles. It's a miss.
Yeah, I think the Bears, as far as the Bears' run game being improved, it's gonna be through the draft. If I'm being honest with you, it
So
won't
you
be. It
you want to
won't be
see
this
you
year.
want to see them draft running backs. God, that's the thing. I mean, I don't want to fast forward too far and just get the whole season over with and go right into the draft, but I mean, let me tell me what you think, but my whole thing, what I would do with the first 4 rounds next season is just offensive line and defensive line.
I'm gonna be honest. I think they do go D line, but I don't think it'll be all D line or offense or O line is either.
They need tackles, man. I mean, I hope these dudes, I know they're looks like they're benching Braxton Jones, but you can't keep running out. And Darnell Wright, for whatever reason, just isn't living up to the top 10 status. But as far as that other, like Braxton Jones has been a fifth round pick for 5 years. Like it hasn't changed. Like it's not his fault. He is what he is.
Well, that's what I would say, right? So when I look at Ben Johnson coaching staff, to me, they guys that love the game, they competitive, but they guys that like to teach the game. So like with Ozzy and some of these other linemen, I wouldn't be too quick to make a judgment on them until this staff has had their hands on them for a while. You know what I mean? Because I think Ben and them are so focused on the small things that normally fans don't pay attention to, technique. You always hear him talk about, for example, Caleb footwork lining up.
Mhm.
So I think they're gonna teach these guys, and some of these guys are gonna be better than what they currently are. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't be too quick to make a judgment because, yeah, as fans, we want to see them win right away, and we want to see the best players at every position. But in today's NFL with the salary cap,
Yep.
some of these guys that you drafted later and may not be there yet, at some point your coaching staff have to teach these guys, and that's how you build a successful organization.
I agree. I'm just big at creating competition, right?
Hmm.
I just think and I see that that's probably something that Ben Johnson, especially, and Dennis
Definitely.
Allen as well, are into.
Well, you see
Um,
Braxton, so you know he's big on
yeah,
competition.
yeah, he did. But the
Yeah.
problem is like those positions, it's hard to find one of those dudes unless, I mean, the Chiefs have done it a few times, but man, it's just hard to find a good starting tackle if you're a good team, right? Because you're drafting so late and they're already picked. So without making drafts or trading up or whatever, and then unless it's free agency and the Bears don't have any money at this point, so they've wasted it on guys like Montez Sweat, who just like I said, I tweeted out like I don't know if anyone's seen him, but he's probably at the bank, making another withdrawal because the dude just doesn't show up.
Yeah, I mean Montez
Disappointing,
Sweat
man.
is
It's
he,
just
he he's definitely concerning. I will say that. I mean, because he's a vet and he
yeah,
should be playing better than what he's playing. I just don't. Like you said, unless which would be bad for us, unless the Bears is in the top 10 again.
yeah, and I don't
I
see
don't
it.
see them being able to get. an
Yeah.
elite tackle out of the draft. So they're gonna have to kind of teach the guys they already have,
Mhm.
and then if they do draft a tackle, it'll be later, later in the first round if they're successful, or whenever they decide to draft another tackle. So that guy probably has to be taught too, and I think that's why the staff is important. Like they O line coach, I think they went out and got a pretty good O line coach. So all of that is important as far as building a successful team.
What do you think so far? What do you think about Colston Loveland? I know he was injured, missed the Raiders game, but what do you think about his usage so far? And also Luther Burden, because I'm kind of surprised. I know Burden had a nice little breakout game against the Cowboys, but he went right back to the milk carton against the Raiders. So I'm just curious what you think about these first two offensive picks in this draft and how they're being
Well, I
used.
think I think the Loveland pick was important because if you watch Ben, a lot of times he used three tight ends.
Hmm.
Three tight ends, uh, or what like the professionals like to call them, 13 personnel and all that.
Yeah,
But
whatever.
but I think going back to Detroit, even in Detroit, if you was to go over some of those games, Ben really didn't use rookies like that, especially they first. It's like they had to earn that playing time or his trust. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? So I think
Yeah.
with Luther and Loveland, their usage is what it is until he gains more trust with them. You know what I mean? And I think that's how you're going to see it for his whole tenure. I don't think rookies is going to be used at some high level under Ben Johnson. Period. Until they gain his trust.
Are you concerned with Cole Kmet after this Raiders game?
I never was a big fan of Cole Kmet, to be honest.
Really?
Because in the NFL, right, your dominant tight ends are basically the hybrid tight ends now.
Hmm.
To me, Cole Kmet was more of a throwback tight end. A guy that can. He's not a great blocker, but a guy that can block. Um, a guy that can run. Your basic routes. A guy that can go up the seam. A guy that can. A big guy who can handle some hits or whatever. But I never was a fan of him because to me he always had some kind of drop since he been a Bear. Like it's
Yeah.
always if you just go back, since he's been drafted, it's somewhere he drops a football somewhere. So I never been a huge fan of commit. I
Man, that
never
drop
just
against
been.
in the first quarter on the Raiders, man, that was
That was huge.
it
That
was.
was
And
huge.
then, they ended up punting. Like, because if you remember, there was
Yeah,
like that
and then
20-yard
it hit him.
bad snap that went back to the 40. But great point here, though, someone made. It was like, okay, we're punting from the 40, whereas the other 31 NFL teams kick a 57-yard field goal. And I was like, that's a good point. Cairo's still not I know he was 4 for 4 that day, made 2 out of 2 on 50-yard plus, but they didn't wheel him out there for that 57-yarder to at least get something. That concerned
Yeah,
me. I'm gonna be
but I
honest.
mean that football hit him right in the helmet. I mean, how better could that football? I mean, it
Well,
hit
even the
you
one
right.
that he threw to
It hit you right
Swift,
in the
remember? Like Caleb's running away and he gets Swift and he
yeah.
hits Swift right in his hands, and I'm like, come on,
And,
like come on, what are
and
we
that's
doing?
what
What are we
yeah,
doing?
what are we doing? And that's what I'm saying. That would have been a huge game too if it goes
Huge
to the
game.
game.
Nobody around him.
Yeah. Nobody, if you go back and look at it. So to me, that's what I'm saying. If you look at the Bears offense, you see all the potential. It's just
Mhm.
about them not hurting themselves.
Yeah.
Look at that drive with Cole Komet. Look at
Yeah.
that drive against the Vikings that was huge, that was called back because of a phantom holding call.
Oh
Like you
yeah.
see
Yeah.
all the potential in the world with this offense. It's just about can they not shoot themselves in the foot. And I think unfortunately for Cole Komet, I think he may have one more year. I don't see it, especially with
Did they
Loveland.
sign him to an
I don't see
extension?
him
Was it the
being.
extension last year or this year? I know they signed him to an extension.
I think they signed him to an extension last
Was it
the year
last year?
before or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, the year
Yeah, I
before.
don't think
So
he's going. I mean, I don't I do see what you say. Like the complaints you said. I do remember all those things. I remember last year thinking they should have used him more, but maybe, starting to see like some of the issues this year. Maybe that's why they didn't. But also,
and when do he make, like, honestly, as a tight end? When do he consistently make the tough catches? Because
I think
you
he
had an
only makes them in
aspect.
the end zone, to be honest. I don't think I've ever seen him drop anything in the end
Yeah,
zone. Like he's reliable in the red zone, but it's the other
yeah.
stuff.
You had Caleb extended the play, made a hell of
Mm.
a throw, and he couldn't catch that ball. You know
No.
what I mean?
Oh no,
Like,
I remember that one. That was tough.
yeah,
I'll give you credit, but he had his hands wrapped around it. So I think a professional tight end makes that catch. Yeah.
yeah. And to me, that's it. Like, if you look at great quarterbacks, Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. The big thing with those guys is they had those
Those
big
tight
safety
ends, man.
blankets. Yeah, those
Yep,
big.
got those tight ends.
So
Do you think Loveland's going to be that type of guy? Because he still looks like he's a little slim.
I like Loveland a lot because
Okay.
he's a hybrid tight end. Now, what scares me about Loveland is the injury factor. As
He's
far as
already, yeah, yeah.
he was injured in college,
Mhm.
and now he's already injured in the NFL. And one thing I've learned, if a guy was injured a lot in college,
Yeah, it doesn't just
when it
magically get healthy. It
yeah,
just
they don't.
it
Yeah,
is who you are, man. I mean,
yeah, that's what he
yeah,
is.
yeah. Baseball is the same way, man. Like if you're hurt, you're hurt. It just is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, not everybody can be Tom Brady, never missing a game. But well, he did tear his ACL that one time. But anyway. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think he got hit in his knee or something like that. So yeah,
yeah, no, what was it was who was that big defensive tackle for the Titans? Albert Hainsworth got him.
yeah,
Was
yeah,
he
yeah,
might have been
yeah.
he might have been on the Washington he might have been on Washington still at the time.
And,
Yeah.
and to me, that was the thing going back a little bit from Jaden to Caleb. That was the thing with Jaden, got dinged up in college,
Mhm.
whereas Caleb never really got dinged up like that. And just like I say, Caleb is. I don't want to say he's short, but he's on what people would consider some on the smaller side for a QB.
Yeah,
But the
height
kid
wise,
is
yeah.
very
But he's
stout.
oh yeah, he's big.
Yeah, height wise, but yeah,
He's an athlete.
yeah, he's a strong kid.
Yeah, he's definitely built. He looks I know he's not as strong or as shredded, but he kind of reminds me of a shorter Jalen Hurts with a way better arm.
Yeah, yeah, with a
Just a
way
way
better
better
arm.
quarterback version of Jalen
Yeah,
Hurts.
way
Yeah.
better quarterback. Yeah,
Jalen Hurts is just a winner. That's his biggest thing. That dude just wins. Um,
yeah, yeah.
so what do you think coming out of this bye week, right? They're going to get Washington. I'm assuming Daniels is going to be healthy enough to play. It's back here in Washington. Caleb coming home again for the second year in a row. To be fair, he outplayed Jaden in that game until that Hail Mary. He won that game. The
Yeah,
defense lost that
yeah.
game because Tyreek Stevenson was playing, fuck games with the crowd. But
He's been better this year, by the way. Stevenson been
oh
better this
well,
year.
so
Yeah,
here's another thing, right? So again, I like to go back and look at my tweets because I tweet emotionally in the moment. That Detroit game when Amon St. Brown is just destroying Tyreek, just dragging him all over the field. I was like,
yeah, he was
I don't
cooking
think
him.
I don't think anyone's gonna miss Tyreek Stevenson if they decide to move on from him because I think this is his free agent year. Um, because he wasn't a first round pick, so I think he's only got 4 years and this is his fourth year, if I'm correct. Could be wrong.
Yeah, this is. Yeah, I think this is fourth year.
Yeah.
Let me see.
But then like
Yes.
right, so we go to Dallas next week. What does he do? Open and drive. He rips that ball away, right? Gets the turnover.
Yeah.
And then last week, first play out of the second half, he dives and catches that interception for and he just basically changes the game right there. And I'm like, all
Yeah,
right,
changes.
Tyreek
Yeah,
Stevenson has
yeah,
perfectly redeemed himself. He's totally back. He's back. Um,
yeah.
but
Now
yeah,
I'm gonna
I
say,
so
coming out of the bye,
yeah, what do you think?
this is an this is an important game for me personally because I talk to Commanders fans a lot, and they really rubbed that victory last year in my
They
face.
should. I mean,
They was all
it
excited.
is what it is.
They was all excited, and I felt like, honestly, the Commanders was kind of overrated last year.
No,
I thought,
100%.
to me, the Commanders reminded me of the 2018 Bears. Where yeah, we
They
made the
just didn't miss
playoffs,
that. They
and
just didn't
a
miss the
lot of
kick against the Eagles. They
yeah, they just did. There
they
you
didn't
go.
miss
They
the
just
kick.
did.
Fucking
Yeah, they didn't miss
what
the
was
kick.
that? Cody
Um,
Parkey? You motherfucker, Cody Parkey, wherever you are.
I'm looking for a big revenge. I'm looking for a big revenge game for Caleb. I think Caleb is a competitive guy, and I think Caleb remembers everything. So I'm looking for a big revenge game with Caleb, and I expect the Bears to honestly, out of the next 5 games, I expect them to only lose one.
Which one?
So I
Which
got
one do
them
you
going
think? Which one?
4-1.
Let me pull this up because I'm with you. And this is a game I think more so where Ben Johnson is like, I got you. Because we're going to run the fucking score
Mhm.
up on Washington, and we're going to do it because of what happened last year. Like that's the kind of thing
Yeah,
I think Ben Johnson is having the conversation with Caleb. Like, look, man, I get it. I know you don't want to lose that game. I don't want to lose that game this year. And here's what we're going to do. We're going to make sure we don't lose it because we're going to hang 40.
yeah, I agree with you. I think the one game I had them losing was against the Ravens. Now I'm not too sure about that now, but I think that's
Yeah,
the one game I.
I'm trying to bring up the schedule, but I can't, I don't know how to work my apps because whatever. All right. Commanders. Then they get the Saints. We're hoping they win that one, right? It's at home. Dennis
That
Allen's
could
got
be a
something for
letdown. Now that's a classic letdown
the
game because
trap
if you
game,
beat the
right? Because it's right
Commanders,
after
yeah,
Washington. And
yeah,
it's still
right
the
after what?
NFL. Like, let's not remember that
Yeah,
like everyone's a pro football player on these teams.
yeah. Because who had the Giants beating the
Exactly.
Chargers? So,
And then they get the Ravens in
um,
Baltimore after that game. So, yeah, I
that's
mean,
the one
Ravens,
L I had.
that's the one.
But now that Jackson hurt,
Bengals
I don't know.
and Giants. Yeah, like I said, man, they got some winnable like if things turn around, they got some winnable games. They could very well find themselves being the Commanders of last year. Shit
Yeah,
happens. It's the
hopefully
NFL. This
with
shit happens every year.
every year, yeah. Hopefully with more sustainability though. But yeah,
I wonder
definitely.
if I should go to that Baltimore game. I won't go to Washington. That stadium is just fucking stupid. The logistics of that. I'm glad they're rebuilding that new stadium in DC, but where the Commanders play right now is just I don't know who planned that. It's just the dumbest fucking thing in the world. Like you literally have to walk across a highway to get to the parking lot. It's just stupid. It's just dumb. But the Ravens, I do like Baltimore. I like their stadiums. I like where they're set up. Like I go to a lot of Orioles games. Those are like right across from each other. So if the Baltimore keeps struggling, I may go to that game.
Yeah, yeah. I think that'll be a good game for you to go to. I know a lot of Bears fans went up to the Washington game last year and then they
Oh
came
yeah.
on disappointed. Yeah.
Yeah, they do. And look, I like if they played in DC, like where they're going to be, or like where the old Washington Stadium was, like yeah, totally would go because it's in the city. It's way convenient. But this is like out in the middle of nowhere, Maryland. It's fucking, it's dumb. It's dumb. It's bad planning. Stadium looks cool, but nothing about getting to it is. Um, all right, so you got the Bears with 10 wins. What do you
Yep.
think
And
about
I'm
the?
going to
Let's
the
okay. What do you who do you like in the division? You still think it's Detroit's or what?
I think the division is Detroit's. I think they've been playing together so long now, and
Mhm.
basically, besides Glenn leaving, which may have been a positive thing, and been
He runs down the sideline, man, after they block a kick and still lose the game. Yeah, it's good for
but
him.
I mean honestly, like just his defense never really showed up in big games to me. So that's
No,
all.
they didn't. You're right. They got torched every time it mattered.
Yeah, they got to it. And Ben Johnson leaving, which they still running that same playbook, basically watching them.
Yep.
I
Well, you
think
still
they the
got Jared
most.
Goff, so that I mean that's always going to be fine. Like he's
Yeah,
always
that's always gonna be fine. And
always
they
in the
got St.
dome.
Brown, which to
Yep,
me St.
that
Brown
dude's
is
a
a very good
beast. He's a
receiver,
beast, man. That
and
dude's a beast.
Laporta is a good tight end. So, and they have a great O line. Man, their O line is always very good. So I think Detroit is the. If, I'm gonna be honest. I think it's Detroit, the Bears, the Packers, and I think the Vikings gonna finish last in the division. I think that's how it's gonna line up.
You think the Vikings are going to be last?
Yeah, I
Really?
think they
Okay.
have quarterback issues over there. I'm gonna be honest. I think they really, really.
Yeah, it's wild to see what's happened to Carson Wentz, man, after that injury. Just kind of, he
Yeah,
was fast tracking to MVP, gets hurt. Nick
yeah,
Foles wins
he was
Super
gonna be
Bowl, and
MVP.
that was
Didn't he
it.
win MVP? Or
No, he didn't.
he
I
didn't?
want to
Okay.
say they did Brady get it that year?
Yeah,
The
he was looking like the
2017.
MVP, and then
Oh yeah, he had it.
yeah,
Yeah, it
yeah,
was. Tom Brady got it that year.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Nick Foles, I mean, of
Won
course,
the
took
Super
over
Bowl.
for him. Had a great run. Yeah,
And then he was a Bears quarterback because the Bears have had everyone as their quarterback over the
Yeah,
years.
he was a Bears quarterback. Yeah,
And he beat Brady against Tampa in Tampa. I remember that
yeah,
because
in Tampa. Yeah, he had one of the greatest playoff runs
oh
ever, to
yeah,
be honest.
Like people can hate on him because he wasn't like taking the Bears to the Super Bowl, but like for what Nick Foles what like he had a really good career in my opinion. Like the dude just he was a good quarterback. He wasn't great.
Yeah, he was just
Most
solid.
quarterbacks aren't great. Like that's just the NFL, man.
Yeah, that is in that NFL.
He
Yeah, he was
arguably
solid.
had probably one of the best seasons statistically ever. Like, remember that year with Chip Kelly and Philly? 27 touchdowns, two interceptions for a whole season? You
Yeah,
you can't even
yeah.
do that shit in Madden. I know I can't. And I'm good. I'll throw two interceptions in a game sometimes and still win, but whatever. Um, where was that? Oh, you want some useless trivia real quick? Let me give you some useless trivia. So Amon St. Brown,
Hmm.
you know who his dad was?
No, who?
Dad was Josh Brown. Josh Brown was a bodybuilder in the 1980s, and he was a two-time Mr. Universe. Um, for those who don't know what that means, those are bodybuilding competitions. And my dad actually worked out with him once upon a time. So there's the useless trivia for the day. My dad was a
Okay.
bodybuilder in the 80s. So there you go.
I'm gonna tell you, a lot of Bears fans I know talk shit about him. They say he a slant merchant and all this, but St. Brown is a competitive dude, man. To
Oh,
me,
for
he's a
sure.
very
This
good
is all
wide
because of
receiver.
his dad, man. Like,
Yeah,
dude, his dad was an animal, man. A fucking
yeah.
animal. You can go look him up. Josh Brown, beast. All right, so we got the Vikings having some quarterback issues. The Packers, I'm not too concerned with, but the only thing I am concerned with is that head coach, man. Like that dude is just
They got a great head
they
coach.
do, man. I just, I
But
just,
Love is
I,
a
I can't get behind
turnover
Jordan Love.
machine.
I can't get with him.
Yeah,
I
it's
just
the
don't think
same.
he has. I don't, and I say it now because he did it again last year. If you go back to his rookie year, or his, not his rookie year, but his first year starting 2 years ago, when they lose to Dallas in the playoffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
He throws that interception at the end of the game. They lose. He runs up to Dak Prescott. He's got this big smile on his face. Like, bro, you just lost the fucking playoff game at home and you're running up smiling? What the fuck's wrong with you? Maybe that's a
Yeah,
one
I
off.
remember that.
Maybe that's a one off. But no, he does the same shit last year. It's like winning isn't like that big to him. It doesn't seem like it. And I could be 100% wrong. I could just be his personality. I obviously don't know Jordan Love. But my take from watching him is like winning's not. You see it with Caleb. Remember that
Mm-hmm.
meeting with damn, who's
CJ
CJ
Stroud.
Stroud? CJ
Yeah.
Stroud, remember? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Look at how Caleb Williams reacts every time you see these post-game clips of him either losing or winning, like how hyped he is or how pissed off he is. Like you can tell Caleb Williams, all he wants to do is win. Like that's it.
Yeah.
I don't get
Yeah.
that from Jordan Love.
Yeah. My irritation with Jordan Love is he always he throws the ball up at least 2 to 3 times a game. For whatever reason, I don't understand why, but the defense seems to not be able to catch his interceptions. I don't get it.
It's Rex Grossman, bro. Don't you remember Rex Grossman? The biggest play, Rex Grossman. It was Rex Grossman, 50 yards down the field to Bernard Berrien. We either hope Berrien catches it or it's pass interference.
That's true. That's true.
Like
That's
that's what you're
absolutely
describing.
true.
That's Jordan Love right there. Hey, run and catch, man. Let's see if it works. I, I used to love when Rex would drop back and throw. I was like, he's going to Barry and it's got to be caught or it's pass interference, whatever it is. Every time. Fucking Rex Grossman, man.
Yeah, had
Man.
a good arm, but yeah,
Had a
that's
great
tough.
arm. Had a really good career, man. Ended up with Washington. He played for a long time. You want to know some more useless trivia? So we're on useless trivia tonight. Did you know Rex Grossman's dad was a dentist?
And I had no idea. Nope.
Grossman Dental, like out of Indiana or something. It's so funny because like I remember looking this up when Grossman was playing. It was obviously 20 years ago or whatever it was. But like his dad was just like the spitting image of Rex, but as a dentist, it's just like it's the Bears quarterback. It's actually the dentist. That is great. Fucking Bears. Quarter. All right. All right, let me take it over real quick to the other sport. I know you're a big White Sox fan. Colson Montgomery, right? Colson or Colin?
Coasting.
Colson. So, how you feeling? How you feeling after? I know obviously they're another bad season, but an improvement. Got some prospects, got some young dudes. You Colson Montgomery, like I said, how you feeling about your White Sox next year?
I'm feeling good. I don't know if they'll be ready to compete next year, but I'm feeling positive about some of the young guys they do have. I really like the draft they had this year, as far as they got what many people believe is the best defensive shortstop in the draft, and he's a high school guy. And then they picked the high school outfielder from Illinois uh, um, that can really hit. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So uh, I'm positive from the standpoint of, to me, they are far ahead in the rebuild than a lot of people would think. Coach Montgomery, I like. I mean, I argue for Coach Montgomery all year. It's this guy who I play fantasy baseball with, that he'll remain nameless. But he said that Coach Montgomery could play defense, and Coach Montgomery didn't have any power and all this type of
Mm.
stuff, and turns out to be
Uh,
completely wrong. You
yeah, I was
know,
gonna say the power
to
thing.
me,
That's a very bad evaluation if that's what he came to.
yeah, yeah, that's a terrible evaluation, terrible evaluation. But I'm only disappointed, and a lot of people say, "Well, hindsight is 2020." In baseball, I have this one belief, and it really came from Theo. Theo would
Okay.
take high school guys at premium position. Theo Epstein. He would take high school guys either play center field, shortstop, or catcher. That's what he would do. And what he would
Those are your
basically do is,
athletes.
yeah, those are athletes. And what he would basically do is, if he needed an arm, he'd trade a prospect for an arm. But he really didn't put too much time in developing arms because it's difficult. It's hard. I
Yeah.
mean, those guys can get injured fairly quickly or whatever. It takes a lot of time for them to develop. So I was disappointed that the White Sox passed on Connor Griffith and took uh,
Okay.
Hayden Smith, whatever, you know. But other than that, my belief is, if the high school shortstop, you take it, because they can play all over the field and move if need be, so on and so on, you know. But other than that, I got a positive outlook for my team.
Okay. And you feeling good today about the Cubs losing?
Oh yeah, you know, it's always you know how everybody say fuck the Packers, is always fuck the Cubs. So yeah, I'm feeling positive.
Love it. Uh, oh, that's what I before I get your wait, okay, I'll remember it. But all right, give me your World Series prediction. Who's your champ this season?
Man, I'm going Yankees, which they could be eliminated
Yeah,
today,
let me
but
check that score because I got it on the background. I can hear some cheering. I don't know what's going on though, but you might be wrong if you say Yankees and they're losing. Yeah, the Yankees are up 4-3, bottom of the eighth. All right, go ahead. Yankees and
so I got Yankees and Phillies.
okay. Yankees, Phillies. I like it. My dad would like it.
Yeah.
I am big on the Phillies this year as well. I was surprised that they managed to maintain despite losing Zach Wheeler. I would love for the Reds to go ahead and beat the Dodgers. I just don't see that happening. But as you know, I'm a Giants fan. I absolutely hate the Dodgers. I hate everything about them. I wish them the worst. I hope Otani gets deported. Like, I just hate everything about the fucking team.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this: the Phillies got one of my favorite players in the game, which is Trey Turner. I love Trey
Yeah,
Turner.
yeah. There you go. I've
I
always
think
loved Trey Turner. I loved him more when he left the Dodgers.
yeah, I think he's just a solid baseball player. And the Dodgers got one of my favorite players in
Mookie Betts.
Mookie.
Yeah.
But I dislike, you know, and this gonna sound funny because it's a capitalist society, but I dislike the Dodgers can just buy
That used to
teams.
be the Yankees. Now it's the
Yeah, it
Dodgers.
used to
They
be
got
the
so many
Yankees.
owners, man.
Yeah, it used to
Yeah.
be the Yankees. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I just want to see. I want to see. I would like to see either Bryce Harper or Aaron Judge get a ring. Honest.
No, for sure. I see that. And that's what I think like really hurts judges because I'm not a huge Aaron Judge fan, like because I can respect his hitting, but
Hmm.
like everyone wants to talk about Aaron Judge like he's this all-time great. And I'm like, he's an all-time great hitter. But at the end of the day, like five tool players exist, and he is not one of them. He is a two-tool player. He's got power and he can hit. He can't run, he can't play defense, and Um, Dan, what's the fifth tool? He doesn't have an arm. Okay,
Yeah.
so he's a really great offensive player. He can be your Hank Aaron Award winner every single year, but he's not the MVP, not this year. I think that's Cal Riley because a catcher affects the game on every single pitch, and he's actually a really good catcher. Is he a better hitter than Tim Cal Riley? Absolutely, but it's about MVP, not most valuable hitter. Um, and I would
With
like to
Judge,
see like if Judge is going to be a truly all-time great Yankee, the Yankees need to win again. They haven't won since 2009.
well, I think if you're gonna be, I think this with any Yankee player that want to be an all-time great Yankee player because of their history. I think you have to
You got to win. Yeah,
win
it's
the
been since
champion.
they haven't won in almost 20 years.
Yeah,
And he
you,
single-handedly cost them the series last year in center field with that error. Like he's not a good defensive player. And he already did it in game one yesterday with jog into a ball. The guy stretches from a single to a double. Like, bro, this is the majors. This isn't the fucking rec league where I play.
you make it one of my friends smile right now. Asking now when he hear
You
this, he
said the
gonna
same
love
thing.
it. Yeah. The thing with Judge to me though is his offensive numbers is so elite. Like
Yeah, yeah, you're right.
if, even if you look at like Otani offensive numbers,
They ain't
Riley
judge.
offense, they so still so far behind Judge that it's crazy. You know, this is
Mm.
ridiculous.
The
I
only thing I will
always
say
say,
that though he makes up for Otani makes up because Otani's got the speed. Like Otani's way more bonds from an offensive perspective than Judge is. Like Judge doesn't run. Cal
yeah,
Riley actually stole more
Judge don't,
bases than Aaron Judge this year.
yeah, Judge don't run. Otani is faster. You know,
Oh, yeah, the
I agree
first
100.
50-50 guy.
Yeah, I agree
He-
100% with you. You'll get no disagreement. It's just when you have a guy like this guy played in 99 games 1 year, whatever it was, and he still almost hit 40 bombs. That is so ridiculous to me that he's
Yeah,
consistently that good offensively, and
yeah.
he's the most intentionally walked guy in the league. It's like I'm gonna
Mhm.
be honest. I don't understand why anybody would pitch to and a crucial situation. Like if I was
No.
a manager, I would never pitch
No,
to him in a
look how they
crucial.
treated Bonds.
Yeah,
Like everyone made this big deal, like, oh my God, Aaron Judge was intentionally walked 31 times. Like, bro, that happened to Barry Bonds the year he hit 73 home runs by the end of May.
yeah. By
Like,
the end of the yeah. Oh, Bonds is the greatest
he'll never be
hitter.
another Bonds, man. That
Yeah,
dude
never.
is
Yeah,
my
yeah.
favorite player of all time. And that dude is like what people don't like, they're just now figuring out, like when they look back, like, oh shit, whatever Judge does, it's just not quite.
And, and I'm an old school baseball guy. You
Yeah.
know, I remember when power hitters also hit 300, like Frank
Yeah.
Thomas, and,
Yeah. Oh, Frank
all
Thomas was
those guys.
fucking ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah,
Frank
so to me, seeing guys hit 260 and hit
Yeah. That's
40
fair.
balls,
I'll
I'm
give you
like,
that. Judge does bring that back to it. Like he's a real
yeah,
hitter. He is a great hitter. I take nothing
yeah,
away
he's
from
a
him from
hitter.
that side of the plate, but not a 5 tool player, man. That
Nah,
does
he's definitely not a 5-2 player. I mean, I honestly, the 5-2 player that's in the league, nobody really talks about a lot, and that would be Bobby Witt because he's not
mm,
hitting. Bobby Witt is not hitting 40 bombs or whatever, but that's the 5-2. Like to me, Bobby Witt is the best all around
I
playing the
agree.
game
Yeah.
right now, baseball
Yeah.
player.
I agree. Him
So
and you know who else I like? Let me know if you I don't know if you follow. The only reason I follow him is because my brother's an Angels fan, but Zach Neto out there at short in for the
oh yeah,
Angels.
I like Zach. I like Zach. He
Yeah.
has to be able to stay healthy though.
Yeah, you're
That's
right, 100%. He's a stud though, man. Like between him and Witt, I think those two are the best two shortstops right now in the American League for sure. But Bobby Witt, that dude's the shit that dude does, and I already know he already re-upped forever in Kansas City, but he's gonna suffer by playing there, unfortunately.
if Bobby, here's the thing: if Bobby Witt was on the Yankee, if he was a Yankees, oh
Dude,
my god! I mean,
they would
the
trade for
media
him
would
right
be
now.
all over Bobby Witt. They would be all over Bobby Witt.
He might end
Like,
up there. You never know. Like a big
yeah,
trade. I mean,
you know,
Anthony Volpe batted 212 this year, but
as long as he never go to the Dodgers, just don't go to the Dodgers. But
nah, yeah,
other
if he
than
does that, he's dead. Like anyone who ends up in LA is dead to me. Like, look,
yeah,
can't do
just
it.
don't
And I
go.
love Freddie Freeman. Like he's a good dude.
Yeah.
Like he is
Freddie, a classy guy, man. I
he
like.
is no, and I've got some close personal friends who are really good friends with him, and I will never forget. that conversation texting them when he hit those home runs last year in the World Series. But at the end of the day, I always tell him like he's still a Dodger.
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
He's the greatest guy in the world, but he's still a Dodger.
That's true. I think if you're a baseball fan though,
Yeah.
you kind of have to be excited because when you think about, especially with the shortstop, you got Gunnar Henderson, you
Mm-hmm.
got Bobby Witt, you got Neto, like you said,
Willie
you got Ellie.
Adames,
So you got
Ellie
a
De La
but
Cruz. Yeah, the
yeah,
shortstops are the sick, man, right?
yeah, shortstops right now. You it kind of remind me of like the late '80s and '90s when you had Ozzie Smith and all those guys. Like you really had a good group of shortstops in the league. You had Omar Vizquel,
Oh, I loved Omar
Cal
Vizquel.
Ripken,
Yeah.
Cal Ripken, Ozzie Smith, Barry Larkin. Like you had a good, you
Who is the
know,
guy he played in? He played for the Giants and the Cubs. Durham? Sean? No, Sean Dunston.
Dunston. Yeah,
Sean
Dunston.
Dunston. Yeah.
Yeah. You had a good group, man. So I think
A-Rod once upon a
baseball.
time. Jeter. All those
Yeah,
dudes,
Jeter.
man.
Yeah, Jeter. Yeah, not to leave him out. Alex Rodriguez, so on and so on.
A-Rod before he became a third baseman. Yeah.
Yeah, before he
Mhm.
came with that. I think kind of like the league with the youth movement is headed in the right direction with the youth movement.
Mhm. What I like though, let me know if you noticed this, but what I like is how like all that you talked about it, like teams are drafting the Theo way, right? Let me get a center fielder, shortstop, or a catcher. And what they're doing with these shortstops is they're drafting these shortstops young and they're making them outfielders.
Oh
Like
yeah,
Fernando Tatis Jr., he's in right field. Jackson Merrill, he's in center
Jackson
field.
man.
Like these guys were all drafted to play short in the San Diego, and like these dudes trans O'Neal Cruz, right? In Pittsburgh.
Neil
Now he's a
Cruz.
center fielder. Like they're because you can put these dudes anywhere. Like that's what people don't realize. It's like they're always like complaining on like these national shows about, oh, I can't believe they're moving him now. I'm like, hey guy, he's a professional baseball player. He's not your local little leaguer. He's gonna be just fine in the fucking outfield if he's a shortstop. Like, relax.
Oh yeah. You know,
It's not like they're putting
I
a
think
first
that's
baseman
the
out there.
well the White Sox tried that, man. It was tragic. They put Vaughn. They
My
put Vaughn.
bad. My bad.
Yeah, it didn't go too well. It didn't go too well, but no, I like where the league is headed, man.
Yep.
Some because like I say, I'm old school, so some of the rule changes I don't like. I don't like the second baseman when you go to the extra innings. I'm not putting
Yeah.
the guy at second. I'm not really a fan of that. I get it. You're trying to make the game fun, so you get the pitch clock, but I'm not necessarily a fan of that because I'm an old school guy where I used to like Greg Maddux playing with hitters' heads and stuff like that. So, you know, as long as they don't go too far with these changes, I'm okay. You know what I mean? Like, I know everybody cry about the umpire, even sometimes me, but that's a part of the game. It was always a
It
part of the
is.
game.
Yeah, we're
Understanding.
getting ABS next year though, man.
Yeah, yeah,
Have you been to any minor league games where you've actually seen it?
yeah. But I'm gonna be honest,
I
hitters
liked
not
it.
gonna like it though.
You
Why?
didn't think? I liked it because it's limited, right? You only get two of them. And
Yeah,
it's right there for everybody to see instantly. So it's like, hey, and it can only be done by the pitcher or the batter. That's it. Like the umpire, like your manager can't do it. It's either the pitcher or the ump or the batter. That's it. You only get two. If it's
yeah.
right, obviously you keep it, but you only get two. It's not like someone can do it every single pitch or whatever. And it's not like umps make that many mistakes every single pitch. But let's be fair. I get it. I'm with you, but there's too many games where you and I could both probably be like, look, both teams are getting screwed here, and it's stupid.
Yeah, some
It's
of the
just,
calls
yeah,
are terrible. I
yeah.
agree. Some
Now,
of the
I don't
calls are.
care if it happens to the Dodgers because it's always fuck the Dodgers, like it's fuck the Cubs. It's always fuck the Dodgers. I hope everything. I hope the power goes out tonight in the stadium and they can't play. Um,
Well, they got an easy series, unfortunately against the
well, I
Reds.
mean, I don't know
Like,
who's left after they did what they did to Hunter Green last night. I thought he would have showed up better, but man, if Otani leads off with a home run. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like, you're a pitcher, right?
off
Imagine
off
that, dude.
a
Imagine
hundred
you're
miles
Hunter
per hour
Green.
fastball.
Imagine you're Hunter Green.
Off
Like,
a
you got a
hundred
102
off
mile an
a
hour
hundred
fastball.
per hour. Yeah, for
Like
100 mile
you're a
per hour
fucking stud,
fastball.
and you throw it on the inside half of the plate, and he crushes it.
And they crushed. I
Like,
only
come on,
thing
man.
I This what really turned me against the Dodgers. I'm gonna be honest. I thought this was completely unfair. There's no way in hell that money should be able to be deferred like that. Like that gives teams such a competitive, like it just gives them a competitive edge
But
when you.
everybody can do it, man.
Yeah,
That's the
but
thing.
like how many, like first of all, how
Like,
many
look at Bobby
organizations?
Bonilla. He's still collecting 1.2
Yeah, he's
million every
still.
week or every month or every whatever. I'm sorry,
But
every
let's be
year.
honest though, the Mets are not a smart organization for the most part. You know, they're not. They're not that smart, man. They're not that smart, man. I mean,
I mean, I'm with you. Like, but it also takes the player to be willing to deal with it. And of
yeah.
course, Otani can because he's getting probably 60 million just from Japan alone, but to make silly little ads that nobody in America will ever see. Like, he doesn't need to get paid to play baseball. He gets so much more money doing just Otani things.
But look how they look how the Dodgers are gonna stack all the players from Japan. Then all the elite players from Japan, they're gonna stack them. They
Well,
got Roki. They
yeah,
went out.
but
You know.
at the end of the day, like elite players from Japan are still AAA plus. Like, there's only so many Otanis, right? Like actually, there's
Yeah.
only one. There's never been a Japanese power hitter like him. Who's the closest? Hideki Matsui, and he barely hit
Matsui is
20
pretty
home
good.
runs. Yeah, but
He's pretty good.
Otani's just a that dude was made in a lab, and he may have legitimately been made in a lab. Who knows what they do in Japan? I don't know. But most of
Now
these
he
other guys, like the pitchers, yeah, they do got some. The pitchers is where they're probably best at.
Now
But
yeah, they. I
they're
mean,
not
look at
putting out like there's not another Otani just hanging out.
what's the
I
kid
am
name?
upset that they're all going to LA though. I'll be right because, like I said,
Yeah,
Dodgers.
they all go. That's to me. I don't know, man. I just like
Really,
how do
man.
you got Mookie? How do you have Mookie? How do you have Freddie Freeman? How do you have Otani?
But those two were both trades, weren't they? I know Freeman was a trade. I thought no. Yeah, no, they were both trades and they just re-signed him.
Now Freeman was a free agent.
I thought
Now
Freeman was traded, and that's why he was so upset and was like actually crying at one point because he got traded, and then the Dodgers just ended up signing him.
did he get traded? If he,
I
get,
think
I
he
thought
did.
he
I think he
signed
was
as a free
traded
agent.
during the season during his free agency year. I think he was traded mid-season. I'm fairly sure. But either way, like, no, you're right. But
Yeah, how do you know that to me that's and then they still they still it's talks to them going out and getting somebody that's a big free agent this
you know
upcoming
they
year.
will. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know they're gonna try and they. I mean, look, here's where I would not be surprised. Freddie Freeman's getting older. Do they sign Pete Alonso?
Mm. Or Josh Naylor.
Yeah. I mean, but let's think about it. I mean, I know you can't put Freddie Freeman and Otani both at DH, but you could put Otani back in the outfield. He used to play it.
Yeah, he did. He
I,
played it pretty good too.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I would not be surprised if Pete Alonso's a fucking dot. Like, nothing would surprise me because, like, they just, as you already said, they got money to just, look, hey, I just found another 10 million. What do you want me to do with this? Here,
Yeah, I
you
got
take it. I
endless
don't need
cash.
it. Yeah, it's just burning holes in the pockets, man. All right, so you got, let's just, oh, wait, that was last thought. Let me get this last thought from you. New stadium apparently going to be in Arlington Heights. You as a Chicagoan, what do you think about that? Because I have no opinion. I've been to Soldier Field once. I flew up for a Thursday night game against the Cowboys. Mitch Trubisky balled out. It was great. 2019. Other than that, like I don't have like I sit at home and watch the games on TV. I'm not worried about the stadium. But what do you think as a Chicago resident?
So I'm a Chicago guy through and through. I hate it, to be honest.
I love
You know what I mean? I
it.
get it. I mean, some of the guys they making fun of me today, Junior and this guy named Fella, but I hate it. I absolutely hate it, but I get it. I mean, at the end of the day, most of these teams want the ability to run their own stadium and to
Mhm.
have their own entertainment district and all that. To me, it's just like if you live in the city and you understand the city
Mhm.
and the surrounding suburban area, it's easy for everything to come downtown. It's easy to from the trains to whatever the buses, everything funnels downtown. So it's easy
Mhm.
for no matter where you're from, even Indiana, it's easy for you to get. to Soldier Field or in the city with public transportation.
Hmm.
Now they say they're gonna have a metro station or whatever that's out there in Arlington Heights, but people are still gonna have to take two trains in some cases. Some people may
Right.
even have to take three trains if they using public transportation. So like the fans in Indiana, they getting screwed. I'm gonna be honest. They getting screwed, but a lot of people like it because a lot of people want to be able to after the game they want to be able to hang for 3 4 5 hours or whatever,
Yeah.
have their own little village, kind of like a Bears village or whatever it is. So a lot of fans like it. Me, I just, and this may be silly because you do have the Giants playing in what is it, New Jersey or whatever. But I
Yep.
like if you the Chicago Bears, I like for you to be in Chicago.
But you
But
don't you
that's
you don't count Arlington Heights, despite it being in Cook County, as Chicago.
nah. We don't. No Chicago person counts any suburb as being Chicago. You from the suburbs to us, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
if you be like, hey, where you from? It'd be like Chicago. And then they be like, oh, I'm from where you
Arlington
from though? Oh,
Heights.
Naperville. Oh, that's not Chicago, you know what I mean?
Okay, so it's not part of Chicago land. I hear that a lot. I hear Chicago land a lot.
Well, now it would be a part of Chicago land because Chicago land is like the surrounding suburbs, Naperville, Evergreen Park, Hinsdale, so on and so on. So that I mean, Arlington Heights would be a part of that.
Okay.
All those suburbs you would consider a part of Chicago. It's kind of like if you've been in Phoenix, right? You got
Yep.
the
Yeah,
city
Glendale's
Phoenix,
not
but
Phoenix. You're right. I
Tempe,
know.
Scottsdale,
Yeah.
Glendale, yeah, it's all around. Part of the
Yeah.
Phoenix, I guess.
Yeah. I think the only ones that actually are in Phoenix is the arena for the Suns and the Diamondback Stadium. Like Glendale's out. That's I don't know why they even call it Phoenix, to be honest. They should just call it, well, they do call it the Arizona
Yeah,
Cardinals. Never mind. It used to be the Phoenix Cardinals.
yeah, they tell it.
Yeah, it's just Arizona. Before they
Yeah,
moved to St. Louis
yeah.
and
No,
back.
Diamondbacks, the
Yeah.
Diamondbacks and the Suns. Yeah, they right downtown. They
Yeah, right
they
next to
next
each
door
other.
to each other.
Yep, next
Yeah, right
door.
next.
Yep.
Yeah,
Phoenix
and
is a weird downtown. There ain't much there. It's kind of weird.
now yeah, it is weird. Yeah,
But you're from
it is
Chicago. I
weird.
mean, like, look, Chicago, like I said, my favorite city in the world. Favorite architecture, just beautiful. Absolutely love that city. There's not a lot of cities that are ever going to compete with a Chicago or a New York in terms of just like downtowns. Like,
Yeah.
they just aren't.
Well, Chicago is it's the city by the lake, so it's like
Yeah,
you got all that lakefront and
yeah.
all that. Just the view in general is it's a beautiful
Oh
city.
yeah, it's that city's amazing, man. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
and
And
then
you're
it
not going to
has
make it to
great
Arlington
food.
Heights, huh?
Well, I mean, I'm gonna go to the game for sure.
Just to see it.
I just hope, I just hope it don't take 10 years to build the thing, man. I hope since they made the decision, I just
I
hope
say
they go ahead.
28. I thought I saw 28 was like the
You
goal.
think they're gonna get it done in 3?
I again, now we're getting into local politics, and I can say in certain cities maybe. I don't know about Chicago because I feel like that's been a big point of contention, period, which is why it's taken this long for them to even make the decision.
Well,
So you
they
tell me, you
need
live there. Do you think Chicago's going to get it done in 2028?
no, they because number one, they already say I think they asking for 800 million. So
855, right? Like,
yeah,
dude,
eight.
come on,
Yeah,
dude.
so
Like,
that's how many
you
hands.
better go
You,
ahead and sell whatever part you still own in Soldier Field.
yeah,
They
how
still
many hands
paying for that?
they gonna have to grease so many hands, so many politician hands
That's ridiculous, man.
just to get that done.
It's ridiculous.
And then they gotta. I think they still gotta get the tax situation
Yeah.
straight.
From
And
Soldier Field, right? Like, aren't they
yeah,
still
yeah,
paying for like aren't they on like some 30-year plan or something with the renovations they did? So I don't know. Like, there's
yeah.
something
They
you
owe
need to
five
read
hundred
it.
million with
Yeah.
that. So they gotta get the city to either cancel out the debt or approve some sort of reasonable payment plan or whatever.
And this
So
is why you're gonna have $100 parking lot spaces
yeah,
if you don't take the train right
yeah, if
there.
you don't take the
So you gotta pay this off somehow.
yeah, you got to pay
You're
this
gonna
off.
have a
So
$30 Michelob Ultra.
yeah,
That's
Yeah,
why I stay at
so
home, man. I'll go to baseball games, but football games, no thanks. It's just
if,
not worth it, man. It just
if
ain't.
I had to guess, I would say 2030.
2030. Okay.
Yes, if I had to guess.
So Caleb Williams will be in year three of his $1 billion contract. So that'll be
Yeah.
cool. Bears will have won 4 Super Bowls by then. That's cool.
Hopefully it'll be called the house that Caleb built.
The house that Caleb, or the house that Ben Johnson built. One of them. You got to
Oh
get it
yeah.
to both, maybe. Johnson and Williams. That sounds like a good law firm right there. Johnson and
Because
Williams.
we call the United Center the house that Michael Jordan built. So,
It's true.
maybe
And I don't want to get into your Bulls talk, but the Bulls have been on the struggle bus for quite some
yeah,
time, man. I
yeah,
feel
quite a while. So
bad.
we'll see. I'm gonna be honest, man. Anything that got to do with politics is a headache. I'm just gonna it really is.
Yeah, you're
It's
right. You're
a
right.
headache,
You're right.
because everybody want a piece of the pie, man. Everybody want a
Mhm.
piece
Yeah, that's a
of the
big
pie.
pie. A lot of pie out there.
Yeah. You gotta, you know how you politicians are, you gotta take I need to make sure this taken care of for my, whatever, my congressional district or whatever the
Yep.
case may be. So
Mhm.
it's just a lot of red tape, man. Honestly, it's a lot of red tape.
2030. They say 2028, so I'll split the difference and go 2029. Let's do that.
That if they can get it done by 2029, I just, since you made the decision, get the damn stadium up so Bears fans can be excited, happy, whatever. Go to the new stadium. Me personally, I don't like the way the NFL do they season tickets, all this PSL stuff, and all of that. Like, I just think it's over the top. Like, you're making it hard. You're making it hard for
Normal
working
people.
people to go
Yeah,
see.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
No, I get that. But that's why I say, man, I come back to like, I will go to baseball games because I got 81 of them if I'm a home fan, right? Like, I
If
can
you're
go
home fan.
wherever. You give me 7 because you're putting one in Europe of home football games.
That's so wild to me.
Like, you can't like you as a like if you're a family of 4, let's just there's your average family of 4. You're gonna take your kids and your family to a Bears game. I mean, you're dropping $1,500.
Man, depending on where
That's
you,
before you even get inside.
yeah, like, cause I know where we were sitting.
Yeah,
I
you have
looked
good
at those
seats. It looked
tickets.
like
They
you have
was
good,
like
the good
twelve
little end
hundred.
zone spot, right?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like $1,200
Oh,
just for.
come on. Are you
Yeah,
serious?
yeah, them tickets was like $1,200, man.
That's
So
insane, man. That's insane.
that's crazy.
That's crazy. Yeah, that's
And then when you just to get a dry sandwich in the stadium, you paying $20. You paying 20
yeah,
bucks.
you get started like that's a whole other thing. I just said this the other day, right? It was for the Bears first game against the fucking Vikings. Like I just went down the Wawa down the street and I just picked up a 4 pack of 16-ounce Bush Lights, right?
Mm.
And I'm gonna have one per quarter because that's what I would do if I was there. I have one per quarter. That cost me $5, bro. And I tweeted like this is $5 or $55 depending where you're at.
Yeah,
Even worse though, I went to the Phillies game this year when the Giants were in town. I went up to Philly. Went to 2 of the Giants games. I for 4 beers, it was $98.
yeah.
I mean, like, what are we doing? What like and you want normal people to be able to go to your games. Like baseball is very different, right? There's so many
That's
of them. Football, you don't
that's
have
why
that
I like
option.
my that's why I like my broke team, my broke franchise, the White Sox, because they still have deals out there where you can get 2 beers and a hot dog and tickets in the bleachers for $20. You
Yeah,
can't beat
what's
that type of stuff.
that's look, I'll be a season ticket holder if that was the case, man. I can do
Yeah,
that. That's
yeah,
what I
you
can get
can't
behind.
beat that. Yeah,
NFL games, sorry. I just being in person. I'll look, like I said, I'll look at that Ravens game, but I don't know, man. It's just there's just the experience being at home sometimes is a little better for me. All
you
right.
get to see everything.
You get to see everything, right? And I won't have to be around Ravens fans who probably are gonna want to fight me. Like that's football. I already got to deal with that in the
Yeah, so,
Phillies games, man. All these Phillies fans, they're drunk in the seventh inning and they see me in my Giants jersey. And it's just like, all right, guys, stop being such a Philly stereotype. Like, we get it. You're Philly fans. You're Oakland Raiders East. I got it. All right, man. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me. Like, give me your prediction, though. I know you said Yankees, Phillies. Who's ultimately winning?
I'm gonna take the Phillies in that one.
All right, I'm with you. I am on the Phillies train this year, and then let's roll back one more sport. Give me your Super Bowl winner this year. Who you got?
Man, it's a tough one because
Yeah, this one is.
the league this year is there's so much parity in the league this year. Like all the teams are fairly close this year. I
Hmm.
don't think the Eagles repeat. No. Um, man, Bears fans gonna kill me for this, but
Oh, don't say the Packers. Oh, you're
nah, hell
lying.
no, no. And I think it's gonna be the Lions
Okay.
and the Lions. I'm gonna go Lions and Chargers. Something different.
Lions and Chargers. All right. Okay.
Yeah,
I wouldn't even be mad at either of those teams since none of them have ever won it. But
yeah.
okay,
Something different.
I can get down with a Lions Chargers game. All right. So here we go. We got King Mac. Follow him on X, Max74 King. I go follow him now if you can, because whoever is Black Ditka, aka Justin Fields Burners, probably got some new hotness up there. He's gonna go take down. So man, that poor guy. What's up with that dude, Ill Will though? I haven't seen anything from him this year. Is he back to normal, or is he okay?
Well, Ill Will, actually, me and Ill Will, I won't say good friends because I never met him, but
Okay.
we talk a lot. I think here's the thing people got to realize with Justin Fields is a lot of people never thought the Bears would take a black quarterback that high.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of emotions involved with Justin Fields. I'm just gonna keep it 100%.
Well, you're right. I mean, it's the same with Mitch. We were the same way with Mitch.
Yeah, same,
We were the same with
so
Mitch. We get it. We get it.
So when people are like, I'm a different kind of fan.
Yeah.
Whereas once I see, it's about business to me. If you can't help my team win, then you
Yep.
can get on. I don't care. I don't care how much I previously liked you. If it At the end of the day, I want to see my team win. So
That's
I
it.
can let go of any emotional attachment I had to any player if they're not gonna help my team win. Whereas some fans they can't let it go. They can't let their emotional attachment go.
It's true. It's 100% true. So, all right, man. I appreciate you again. Like I said, spending your time with me tonight. Please go follow this man and join us in 2 weeks. Well, a week and a half when they take on the Washington Commanders. Go Bears. Thanks, brother.
All right.